So, today we're going to unpack one of the most ambitious blueprints for humanity's future ever put together. We're talking about the interconnected vision of Elon Musk, pulled directly from his landmark TED Talks. Let's dive right in.
You know, at the very heart of everything Musk does is this question you see right here. This isn't just about building cool companies or making money. It's a direct pushback against a future that feels kind of bleak or, dystopian. This is the real why behind every single thing he's doing.
Okay, so to really get what he's doing, you have to look past the company names. Tesla, SpaceX, the Boring Company, they're not really separate things. Think of them more like a suite of tools, all designed to solve some of the biggest problems humanity is facing.
Let's start right here at home. The first big piece of this puzzle is all about securing a sustainable future for us on this planet. The roadmap to a sustainable energy future, at least in Musk's view, really boils down to three key pillars. First, you've got to generate clean power, mostly solar and wind. Second, you need to store that power, and that means batteries, lots of them. And third, you use all that clean energy to electrify everything that moves. But, and this is the crucial part, he's super clear about the bottleneck. The whole thing moves at the speed of battery production. That's the limiting factor.
All right, so once we've got a plan for the planet-sized problem of energy, we can zoom in on something a little more personal, something that millions of us deal with every single day: traffic. And yeah, it is pretty soul-destroying.
So the core idea here is actually pretty simple when you think about it. Our cities are 3D, right? We build up, but our roads, they're stuck on a flat 2D plane. The Boring Company's big idea is to take our transportation 3D, just like our buildings. The concept is basically to create these deep, multi-level tunnel networks. Your car gets lowered onto an electric skate, and then boom, you're off at over 200 kilometers per hour with no traffic in sight.
And this is where it gets kind of funny. How do you actually make this affordable? Well, you have to make tunneling way, way faster and cheaper. The goal, as he famously put it, is to build a boring machine that can beat his pet snail Gary in a race. It sounds like a joke, but it points to a serious engineering goal, making the technology at least 10 times better.
All right, so we've talked about fixing our physical world. Now let's switch gears and talk about the digital world, specifically the massive puzzle of artificial intelligence. And you might be surprised to learn that the starting point for solving it is the car.
So why has full self-driving been so incredibly hard to crack? I mean, much harder than just building more cars. Musk calls it a problem full of false dawns. You feel like you're making amazing progress, you think you're 90% of the way there, and then you hit a wall and realize that last 10% is 10 times harder than everything you've done so far.
It all comes down to something called the logarithmic curve of progress. You see these huge, rapid gains at the beginning, but as you get closer and closer to 100%, to solving for every weird, bizarre edge case you can imagine on the road, your progress just slows to a crawl. And when a mistake could be fatal, getting to 99.9% just isn't good enough.
And this is the real takeaway here, the big aha moment. To get a car to drive through a world that was built for human eyes and human brains, you have to solve a much bigger problem first. You have to create an AI that can actually see and understand reality in the same way we do. It's not a car problem, it's a real-world AI problem. And once you've done that, once you've built a robot on wheels that truly understands the world, well, you can take that same intelligence and put it somewhere else. You can put it into a robot on legs. The Tesla, in this vision, is the training ground. The Optimus robot is the application, the thing that can then do all the dangerous, boring, and repetitive jobs, hopefully leading to an age of abundance.
This, of course, leads us to the ultimate AI challenge. What happens if, or when, a digital superintelligence becomes way smarter than we are? Musk's proposed solution is, well, it's out there. He says we shouldn't try to fight it, we should try to merge with it. And that, in a nutshell, is the mission of Neuralink.
So Musk breaks our brain down into this simple 3-layer model. You've got the limbic system, that's our ancient lizard brain, all our instincts. Then you've got the cortex, the part that does all the thinking and planning. And now we have this new digital third layer, our phones, our computers. The big problem, the connection, the bandwidth between our thinking brain and our digital brain is painfully slow. So what's the point of Neuralink? It's basically about upgrading that connection. It's about moving on from the slow, clumsy data rate of our thumbs typing on a screen to a totally seamless, super high bandwidth interface. The big idea is to make sure that we, as humans, don't get left in the dust by the very AI we create.
And that brings us to the final, most existential piece of the puzzle, the biggest what if of them all.
What happens if something goes terribly wrong here on Earth? A massive asteroid, a supervolcano, some kind of catastrophe we create ourselves. What's the backup plan?
The philosophy driving this whole part of the vision is that consciousness, this thing that took 4.5 billion years to evolve on one tiny planet, is incredibly precious. It's fragile. It's like this small candle flickering in a huge, dark universe. And we have a responsibility to make sure that candle doesn't go out.
So what's the lifeboat for that flame of consciousness? Well, it's a massive, fully reusable rocket being built by SpaceX. It's called Starship, and it's being designed for one main reason: to build a self-sustaining city on Mars and make humanity a multiplanetary species.
And to really get a sense of the sheer scale of ambition here, you just have to look at these numbers. Starship isn't just a slightly better rocket, it's a total paradigm shift. It's aiming for 100% reusability, it's more than twice as powerful as the Saturn V that took us to the moon, and its goal isn't just to visit another world, it's to build an entire city there. But it's not just about building a giant rocket. Accessibility is everything. The goal is to get the cost of a ticket down to something like $100,000. That's a price point that could, eventually, make it possible for the million or so people needed to build a real, self-sustaining civilization on Mars.
And he is not sugarcoating what this journey will be like. The recruiting pitch is brutally honest, and it sounds a lot like those old ads for Shackleton's Antarctic expeditions. It's going to be dangerous, it's going to be hard, but for the people who are willing to go, it's a chance to be a part of building a whole new world.
Okay, so this is the moment where all the pieces we've been talking about, all these seemingly separate projects, suddenly click into place and you see the bigger picture.
Just think about how it all works together. That tunneling tech from the Boring Company, you could use that to build underground habitats on Mars to protect from radiation. The Optimus robots, they could do all the heavy lifting and dangerous construction work. Starship could even revolutionize travel here on Earth, and something like Neuralink could offer a profound, deep connection back home. It's not a bunch of separate ideas. It's a powerful, interlocking system.
So there you have it. That's the blueprint. It's this massive, multi-pronged attack on our biggest problems here, while at the same time building a backup plan on another planet. It's one person's incredibly audacious answer to the question of what an inspiring future looks like. And really, it leaves all of us with a challenge. What does the future you want to build look like?